So the Nimitrix is a knockoff Omnitrix that can turn the wearer into the predator of an alien species, and since humans are indeed a species, if Ben is in his regular 16-year-old form, would the Nimitrix turn the wearer into P. Diddy? Wait, does that mean there's an ultimate form of Diddy? Lately, I've been getting sucked back into Ben 10, which was hands down my favorite show growing up as a kid. I had almost all the figures growing up, remember doing the fusions with the codes that the cards provided that came with said figures, watched all the crossovers, shows, and movies, and even did a Halloween costume as Ben. And I definitely feel like there was a video of me singing the song in a truck while doing an internship, but it's all very foggy. Needless to say, this show had a stranglehold on my childhood, and apparently my adulthood now that I think about it. But I don't want to think about that, because then I'm filled with the crippling realization that I hang on to the things I found joy in my childhood and an extreme desperation to avoid the fact that the happiest I ever was when I was 8 years old without a care in the world and not burdened with the harsh reality of becoming an adult in a world that is evermore becoming consumed by greed and continues to spiral in a downward plummet, which will surely end with the extinction of humanity as we know it. Jeez, I don't know what overcame me. I'm sure it was nothing actually important. Since I assume most people who click on this video are already familiar with Ben 10, more specifically Ben 10 Omniverse, I'm not going to bother explaining the backstory of the Nimitrix and all that it entails. If you want that, go watch Tank, which is probably the biggest Ben 10 channel on YouTube. But I want to talk about the concept of predators for Ben's alien transformations, which I'm going to start off with and say that is an excellent idea, and for the most part I really like the execution of it. It's a really unique way to build upon the world of Ben 10 in a way that breathes this natural life into Ben's alien transformations. And I think it is a better gimmick than Ultimate Forms or some other gimmicks that are shown later on in any of the series, which don't get me wrong, they still can be lots of fun, but I feel like execution has always been kind of mixed with most of those gimmicks. However, I kind of have a couple problems with the idea of predators in Ben 10, with the first one being the depiction of predator and prey relationships, which you know what that means, everyone. Yes sir, I get to whip out my real life job and education knowledge, aka zoology. In defense of this show specifically, inaccurate depictions of predator and prey relationships are just a Hollywood and entertainment wide problem. I mean, it's always defenseless herbivores, big scary carnivores. But I don't like the idea that the predators are depicted as the ultimate counter towards that specific alien prey, with them not being able to do anything to counter said predator, which yes, predators evolve a certain way in order to maximize their efficiency at capturing prey. However, so does prey, because otherwise that prey wouldn't be a thing if they didn't have different means to survive their predators. Even if we're going on the assumption that these predators are highly specialized in the prey that they capture, which can be inferred based on how most of the time when they have to change after they've been beaten by a different prey alien transformation. For example, like armadillo beating crabdozer. Prey animals in real life still have different means to counter said specialized predators. For example, the Japanese giant hornet specializes in bees, and it's very effective at tearing them apart. However, bees have found a way at defending themselves against them by swarming the hornets and vibrating their bodies and cooking the hornet alive. And yes, I know this isn't the best example given how it requires multiple bees, but another example would be the Everglades snail kite and snails which it preys upon. Which, while the kite has a beak design that better allows it to get access to snails, the snails can close their operculum very tightly, which makes it much harder for said kites to get them. I guess for non-animal people, think of the specialized predator and prey relationship more as a Pokemon battle instead of a rock, paper, scissors match. Is there a type advantage that would make it easier for one animal over the other? Yes. Does that guarantee an automatic win? No, predators fail all the time and sometimes even get really nasty injuries that can lead to death. Which brings me to my other problem, and that being Ben himself. It's said and shown that when Ben becomes one of his aliens, it is the peak form of that species. A great example of this would be Liam compared to Kick and Hawk. So automatically, any of Ben's prey species should be more challenging than the average individual of that species. It's like if you had a leopard attacking an average American, which, let's face it, probably would not be that difficult for a leopard, versus putting it against a prime Mike Mike Tyson. Could it still win? Yeah, totally. But it's going to be much more challenging because predators don't usually go for the healthy individuals because that just comes with more risks. And the other part that always bothered me is how Ben mysteriously forgot how creative he can be with his aliens. Again, this is a show-wide thing, not just this concept, but it's frustrating because even when Ben is limited by his opponent, he still finds different ways to use his aliens' abilities to still pull a win. I mean, when he was 10 and first encountered Vilgax, he melted the road to slow down Vilgax down, after his other traditional methods didn't work. Ben has been shown to adapt to tougher enemies and situations even when he's at a disadvantage. This is all really just kind of nitpicky problems with the idea of predators in Omniverse than full-blown issues with it. Sure, at times it does get repetitive, but I still think it's a great idea that's mostly executed pretty well. It was just a topic I wanted to talk about, and I thought it would be kind of a fun way to bring in some actual life aspects for me into my videos in a way that actually connects. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Spank all those buttons, stay safe out there, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.